Happy Odin's Day and Happy New Rune Day. So before we get on to the important stuff about New Rune, for New Rune Day, should just, have some thoughts on the year, on the path of power, and some general commentary. It would be impossible for me not to include my injury having a massive impact on, a major part of the year, even if it's been just 2.5 months, or no, 2 months. 2 months. Its impact is going to be long term going into next year. Even if hopefully within another 2 months I'll be moving towards a more normal sort of pace of life or standard of life or living. I suppose really it's taking that motto that I get from Balder that I associate with Dagaz, which is better days will return. And I think also for a lot of people it's not been a great year. We've seen a lot of unpleasant things, and we can only hope that the hope that a new year can brings with it action and replacement of forces that are in positions that we might not necessarily like being where they are. And that is something that requires, action on our parts. So hopefully 2024 will prove to be a better year, certainly than the last few years, and that better days will return. Dagaz is a positive rune for some conclusions for the past week. I mean, it's hard in many ways for this time of the year to be, I suppose, in general, a bad time. Obviously, as well, there's certain things that take that as a challenge, hold my beer, and to bring misery to people. I am aware that Yule as a time of year can be a sad or troubling period of time. In general, I think there is a good mood created, hospitality, generosity, reciprocity, which remain, really important factors to Norse paganism. So I've not been disappointed with Dagaz, and I don't think I ever have been or ever can be. But it is time for New Rune Day, and it is the final rune of the Elder Futhark that's been probably at the just below the surface of consciousness, because it's come up in a few conversations of late, in the past week, even the past day or two. So we go to Ophala, representing inheritance, estate or ancestral land. And like Dagaz, it only has an Old English rune poem, no Old Norwegian or Old Icelandic. So we'll do what we can and then see how Ophala sees out the year with us. So the Old English rune poem, Ethel, Homestead. Homestead is over dear to each man, if he may there justice and courtesies enjoy, in a mansion in frequent prosperity. Obviously, lots of rune studies and that pick over and extrapolate every meaning they can from the words that are given in the poems. And that's fair enough. Plus, I say, for my own journey, it's not just that, but it's feeling what you can from the connection to the rune while you're connected to it. So that's the rune poem as translated and appears in Swain Plowright's Rune Primer. Let's go with the key words from Lisa Chamberlain's Runes for Beginners. So for Afala, it's heritage, tradition, inheritance, ancestral property, family ties. Ofala, the final rune in the Elder Futhark, is the rune of heritage and speaks to what we come into the world with in terms of who we are born to and raised by. This rune may refer to literal inheritance of land or other property, but it is often about the intangible things we inherit from our family of origin, for better or for worse. No matter how we may resemble or differ from the rest of our family, and no matter how far from home we have travelled or how independently we have established ourselves, all of us carry traits, beliefs, habits, and influences from our family of origin. It's like joy or the pleasantness of Dagaz. It's one of those important and critical sort of runes, really, for this time of the year. And I think this year in particular, in the next few days, it's something that, from a personal perspective, will have a lot of pull, as you know, family things happen just before really crossing the threshold of the new year. So I've made a decision sort of that this is probably going to be the last episode in this sequence for the Path of Power. And then in the new year, I want to expand sort of my understanding of the other runes, not just the Elder Futhark. So I'll be starting a series delving into the younger Futhark, which is the runes, or are the runes, associated with the Viking Age, whereas the Elder Futhark predate the Viking Age. So I think it'd be interesting just to explore them a little bit, because I'm kind of, blind to them. I haven't spent any real time with them, and something I want to do, and that's something I will be doing moving into the new year. A new challenge, while I also continue to work with primarily the Elder Futhark. That's about it for now. Do have a good time, however you celebrate moving into the new year, and I will, see you in the next one. Thank you for listening. Thank you for following, and all the best. Cheers. Goodbye.